I'm back, baby. I'm back, baby. Here I am, still doing this thing I'm doing, that thing I'm doing. It's called I Do Stand Up. I'm Jason Collings, coming to you with stories from the world of stand-up comedy. So last episode, I said that I would talk about the Comedy and Magic Club because that's where I performed last night. I had 2 shows at the Comedy and Magic Club there in Hermosa Beach, California. There's a 6 o'clock show in what they call the up close room because it's a smaller, intimate, more intimate venue. And then there's the main room show at 8, and I did both of them. This club is always amazing. It's always a good time. And I'm not talking about just for the people that go to the show, the audience. I'm talking about for us, the comedians. It's one of our favorite clubs. You're treated amazing there, first of all. Let me give you a little history of the club. The club opened in 1978, and to give you some perspective on that, I was only 7. I was 7 years old, and I was just a few years away from starting stand-up. Just kidding. I didn't start doing stand-up until I was 35. You guys know that. But 1978, they opened this club. Meaning the Lacey's. Mike Lacey is the main owner. Mike Lacey runs the place. He's an amazing guy, great family that runs this place. My buddy Richard Barrett, I call him Richie. He's basically the guy that runs the show. He's the entertainment director. He's the talent coordinator. He's the man who makes it all work. And this club is incredible, from the stage, from the showroom, from the staff to the audiences to the food. Everything's incredible. You get if you want to. This is a perfect date night. If you want to take your girl or your guy or your girl out, whatever way you play that game. This is a great place to do it. And if you're in Southern California, it's right at the beach. It's steps from the ocean. It is a beautiful club. The food's great. Last night I had the center cut steak with roasted potatoes and fresh vegetables, seasonal vegetables. My wife had a gorgonzola salad with salmon, apple gorgonzola salad with salmon, and it's just, you're treated so great there. And this club, the history is incredible. I'm on shows. I've done lineups where I'm sitting in this green room having my steak next to Paul Reiser, who's a legend. A lot of people don't realize Paul Reiser. He played the scientist in Stranger Things. He had his own sitcom for years. He's just an incredibly accomplished actor. He was in Behind the Candelabra on HBO about Liberace and all that stuff. The guy's an incredibly accomplished actor. I just saw a video of Paul Reiser and Michael McDonald, and Reiser's playing piano and McDonald's playing guitar, and it's not a comedy video. They're just jamming out together. This is Paul Reiser on the piano. Anyways, a lot of people don't know Paul Reiser started as a stand-up comedian. I was on the lineup with him a few weeks ago. He's there all the time. Jay Leno still performs at this club every Sunday. This is his home club. This is where he just loves to work, and he's there every Sunday doing shows. And so, yeah, this place is very historical. If you've never heard of it and you're in Southern California, get your head out of your rear end. If you're a stand-up comedian and have never heard of this club, do your homework. Figure it out. This is one of the best clubs ever. And again, this one is like the Comedy Store, in my opinion, where it's not an easy club to get. You don't just show up and all of a sudden like, hey, can I get on stage? It doesn't work that way. You have to audition. I'm going to make a quick adjustment real quick. That's all I'm doing. Just bringing the camera down a little bit. I feel like there's a little too much space above my head. Whatever. This isn't perfect. I'm doing this at my house. So yeah, you got to show up. He takes referrals, but you're going to need to be clean. You got to have a very polished, clean 5-minute set that you have on tape, and you got to submit it. And once you submit it, I don't know when you're going to hear from them and how long it's going to take. It's a process. And again, everybody's story is different. Let me tell you my story about getting into that club. So the very first time I ever went there, I went there as a guest of another comedian. I'm not sure if I had just started doing stand-up or a comedian friend of mine before I was doing it took me, and as a guest, you're treated incredibly. They take me back to the green room, which is like a brick bunker. I'll show you some pictures and stuff. It's incredible. It's a brick bunker, and then all the back hallways are these bricks, and there's these individual bricks on the walls, and comics over the years have signed these bricks. The ones that go down the hall towards the other showroom, I have a brick on that wall that I signed in like 2013. No, yeah, 2013 is that what I signed it in 2013. So I guess that was 12 years ago. There's pictures of comedians on the wall. I'm honored and fortunate enough to have my picture on the wall in there and everything. But you go inside the actual green room, and that's where all the original bricks are on the wall. And you have Leno's signature from 1978. You've got Seinfeld's signature from like 79 or 78 or something. Signed these walls. And then, of course, you see your peers and buddies that you looked up to, like Russell Peters is up there, and, Paul Reiser's up there. It's incredible. I see, last night I noticed that I saw Felipe Esparza's signature on the wall, and Joe Coy's signature on the wall. It's really cool. It's just the history there is really neat. And I remember being there as either a brand new comic or not quite started yet, still chicken shit, and thinking, I want to be a part of this club so bad. That had to be in 2000. First time I ever went there was like in 05, 06, between 2005 and 2007. And I just remember you're in that room with all this incredible talent, and you just shut the fuck up. You don't try to be funny. You don't try to chime in. You're just listening to these like masters of comedy just chop it up back and forth, just roasting each other. But then also there's a lot of like industry talk that I didn't understand at the time. People are talking about their booking agent and this and what gig they booked here and there. Because it's a really cool inside look into the industry of stand-up comedy, being in that green room. So that was like 06 when I first went there. And then I just worked my tail off from 2006 to 2013. And if you remember me telling you this, I did my first late night show, and it was for Jay Leno. It was I did the Tonight Show 2013. I was either the last one or one of the last 3 comics to do the show with Jay Leno while it was still on the West before they moved it to New York and made Fallon the host. And that room, the Comedy and Magic Club, is the room that got me that gig. So apparently, I didn't know this until like a while later, but apparently Richie, the guy who runs it, he's a talent guy, was trying to contact my manager at the time, and she never told me. So he ended up being at a club that I was at. That's another thing I love about this guy. He will go out. Richie, if you ever watched any episodes of my brother and our podcast, the Unidentical podcast, we had Richard Barrett on as a guest. He's the talent coordinator and entertainment director of that club. And he the one great thing I love about him is he will go out and go to shows and do some scouting. He'll go to the comedy festivals and scout talent. And he saw me, I believe it was at the Improv in Brea. He saw me there, and then we ended up chatting, and he hit me up and he said, why don't you come in and start doing these little 5-minute spots? They're basically like development spots, what I was talking about at the Comedy Store on that episode. And you basically go in there and he watches you. Because, when you're part of the actual crew and you're part of the paid regulars, you're doing like 9 minutes to like 15 minutes or whatever, unless you're headlining. But these guys, he'll bring these guys in to do little 5-minute sets and just kind of watch them and stuff. And I didn't know this, but they were helping me develop my Tonight Show set there. And so one night, the booker of the Tonight Show came out to see me, and my manager and the club, neither one of them told me this was happening, so that I wasn't nervous or anything like that. And I did my set there at the Comedy Magic Club, and then I get a phone call from the booker of the Tonight Show saying, you got it. You was great. We saw you at the Comedy Magic Club. I was like, I didn't know you were there. He goes, I know, but we were there. We saw it, and you're booked. You're on the Tonight Show, which was great. And then later that year, they had me sign a brick, which was pretty cool. And then a couple of years, like 30, 40, 50, 70, like 4 or 5 years after that, they put my picture on the wall and had me sign it. It's so cool, man. Like last night was fun. We had 2 shows. On the lineup, though, was one of my favorite guys that I used to watch before I was a comedian. I want to give him a shout out. Jeremy Hotz. He is still such a monster on stage. It's incredible. And then, of course, with Billy Gardell, I think that's how you say his name, from Mike and Molly, or whatever the show was. I don't know shows. I know of them. But ask me what the title is. Hey, man, I don't know. People are like, what's the show with Melissa McCartney? And I'd be like, is it Starsky and Hutch? I don't know TV. I don't know shows well. My brothers always ask me, dude, did you see the show about the thing? And I'm like, maybe, probably, might have, but I don't remember what it's called. But yeah, last night's show was great. We had a good time, and my wife came along, and it's just, that club is I love all of them, okay? All the West Coast clubs I'm a part of. I'm an improv regular. I'm a regular at the Laugh Factory. Those clubs weren't as hard to get into as the Comedy Store and the Comedy and Magic. And it's so hard to explain until you're there. And I've brought young comics in as guests because they treat your guests really well. Like if I bring a guest, they'll feed them whatever they want. Hey, what do you got? You know, like if I bring a buddy and all of a sudden he's having a steak dinner, and I'm not talking like an average. It's just they have amazing chefs at this place. It's not a cook, it's a chef. It's culinary art is what it is. And they have everything from steak. They have everything from salmon to chicken dishes, and then they have finger foods. They got French fries. They got burgers. They got all kinds of stuff. Their desserts are incredible. I know I'm talking a lot about the food because I'm trying to lose weight, and I haven't been eating lately like I usually eat. So I'm just kind of daydreaming about their menu right now. Holy shit, I'm a fat ass. But yeah, man, the experience is incredible, and the location is just beautiful, and it's the Comedy and Magic Club in Hermosa Beach, California. You gotta go, take a date, take a friend, just go there. It's amazing. And you know what? If you're lucky, I might be on the lineup. I send my avails in, they call me, they say, come down and do a spot. And it's what's really cool is that you come see me at the Comedy Store or at the Laugh Factory or at the Improv, you'll see me doing at least 15 minutes to 20-minute sets. You watch me at the Comedy and Magic Club, it is a lineup of all killers, and we're all doing 8 minutes or 9 minutes each. They save the headlining nights for like during the week, which is kind of opposite of a lot of clubs. A lot of clubs do their local stuff during the week, and then they have their Friday, Saturday, Sunday for their big headliners. Well, Hermosa, because of its location and because of how much comedians love going there, they save their headliner stuff for during the week, Thursdays, Wednesdays, or whatever. But Fridays and Saturdays at the Comedy Magic Club is just solid 9 comics, all doing 8 minutes, and they're all killers, and you don't get tired. The show doesn't get old. We leave you wanting more. That's what I'm saying. The lineup is perfect. They've got this well-oiled machine there where they figured out how. I tell people, you want to learn how to run a comedy club, just hang out at the Comedy and Magic Club for like a week, because they've got it figured the fuck out. The staff has got microphones and earpieces. They're on point. You'll never have a heckler problem. I've never had a heckler problem at the Comedy and Magic Club because security is unbelievable, but they're nice. They're not like standing back there like, don't you fuck up, I'm going to beat the shit out of you. They're just really nice, and they're just on point. But also the atmosphere lends to everyone just having a great time. I know I'm gushing over this place, but you got to understand, I love it so much, and I'm so happy, and I love that I'm a part of this amazing historical club. Again, the Comedy Magic Club, Hermosa Beach, California. Go check it out. That's all I got for you today, guys. All right? Oh, one more thing. You're wondering, why is it the Comedy and Magic Club? Because they do have what they call it's a variety act, which a lot of times they'll throw a variety act in the lineup. Not a bunch, just one sometimes none. But every once in a while there's a comic, there's a magician or a juggler or like somebody that does mime stuff. But it's always funny. It's always funny, and it's always really good. So yeah, that's why they call it the Comedy and Magic Club, because they will throw in those variety acts with magicians and jugglers and all that kind of stuff. So again, it's a good time. If you want a great show, go to this place. All right, guys. Thank you for joining me on this thing that I'm doing called I Do Stand Up. I'll see you on the next one. Take it easy. Bye.